Okay, so you just moved into your new place, you're trying to find a footing around, getting to know the neighborhood a little bit better. And part of all of that experience is making sure that you get along with your neighbors, right? So let's talk about some problems that you might encounter. Noise pollution is definitely one of them. Think about huge parties, tons of night activities that go on. I also have a personal experience as well where I've heard the creaking, the noises. Fairly traumatic. Your neighbors having people over, crossing your boundaries, parties in common areas. Hygiene is also a huge issue. Your common areas might be really dirty. Sometimes people don't clean up after themselves. They leave dishes there for days in the sink. You have toilets as well, which might be nasty when a lot of people are like sharing it. So when it comes to noise pollution, right, how would I face all these kind of problems, right, is to actually communicate with them first and tell them like, hey, explain my situation. I have an early morning tomorrow. Can we have a early night tonight? Can we just try and keep our noise down? And if it's a repeated attempt, I will actually bring this forward to the landlord or agent that I'm working with and explain hey, this is the situation right now. I've spoken to them. It doesn't seem to work out on their side. They're not really interested in listening to me. Can you then cascade this message down? Most of the times, the conflicts will be resolved. If not, then call police. Okay, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Number 2, do your due diligence before you even make that big commitment, right, to moving into a space. Like we've already mentioned in episode 1, at your viewing stage, ask the agents, ask the landlords, hell, even ask the neighbors themselves. What do you do? What are your habits like? What's your lifestyle like? How are the other neighbors? Tell me what I need to know. Really gather all that information from them from the get-go so that you can set your expectations on how the sound is going to be like, how the environment is going to be like. So I feel like we've talked about the bad side of things, and there's always a positive side to having a good neighbor. So some of them is that they're just there to help. And I feel like during a power outage, right, especially when it affects them as well, right, everyone will be like bursting out of their rooms like, what's happening? Why is our power out? So I feel like there's a certain power in community where you're just like, okay, let's try and figure it out together. Also necessities, sometimes I do group buys with my neighbors. We group buy cat food or toilet necessities, all these kind of things. And it's a lot cheaper in that way to save money. Also sometimes, whenever I come home and I have a package that's delivered while I'm at the office, right, and my neighbors, they're really sweet and they'll just put it at my door so I won't have to lug it from maybe the main door to my actual door itself. So I think those are some of the very good benefits that we have. Another one would be sometimes if we're around the same age and we vibe, right, we actually host parties together. So some of my favorite memories is that one of my other neighbors, we used to have New Year parties together. We would go out for CNY Day 1 together. We even went to club together. So I think it's great, especially when you want to hang out and just chill with more people, right, and meet new people. It's a great way to do it as well. The next positive side of having good neighbors that are on your side, right, is that if you want to negotiate changes to your landlords about the structural place, maybe can we get more reinforcement for walls that are very thin, or if you want a new paint job across the whole area, right, I think it's so much easier to tell them as a collective versus just one person speaking out and trying to explain that whole use case for it. So now, as sad as I am, we're actually at the last part of the episode, and I want to thank everyone who's been watching this. Take your own time. This is a journey that is specific to you. Really enjoy the process of finding, a home for yourself. Look at many different options. Don't close off your idea. You never know the next apartment that you might like even more. And for the last time, I'm Matilda, and in a nutshell, this is how you move out for the first time.